Welcome, guys, to Showtime's Fight Forum. I'm your host, Showtime. Thank you for tuning in. The views has been going up. I appreciate everybody that has viewed, even if been complaining and been hating. Thank you. I love it. But today's episode, today's drop, is going to be a recap of last weekend. All right, there was a lot that happened. There was some stuff that I didn't even dive into last week. There was Bellator, UFC, and obviously the Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight. I want to talk about all that. Hopefully, I don't take up too much of your time, but we do got to break down the real fights and then the circus fight that I told y'all was going to be a joke. So I think first we'll start off with Bellator. Bellator, they did start their Grand Prix light heavyweight tournament 2 weeks ago. They started it with Bader versus Machida. Was not that fun of a fight. Machida, you need to retire. Like, call it quits. Your takedown defense has become awful. Your cardio has been awful for a little bit now. You're no longer the dragon, man. I'm sorry. That dragon has been slayed. So you guys got to call it quits, man. Bader, you look okay. I'm not that impressed. I don't think you're going to get your title back, bro. But, hey, a win is a win. But last weekend, that was the more interesting fights that was happening, which was the championship fight, which is Nemkov fighting in a part two, Phil Davis. And then we also had Corey Anderson fighting again. And now this is his first time in the tournament fighting against Yagi. I'm not pronouncing that name because I know for a fact I'm going to butcher it and I don't want to disrespect this dude. But the first fight, which was the Corey Anderson fight, man, Corey, I can tell you right now, I don't think there is a more happy fighter than Corey Anderson right now, man. Like, no joke. He just got whatever it was out of the UFC. Now he's thriving and making, I'm pretty sure he's making more money. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he's making more money in these fights, and he's looking phenomenal. He's finishing these dudes, and he's looking nasty. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Corey Anderson, and I don't think that he's good enough to win the belt. But, man, he's a force to be reckoned with at 205 in Bellator. He looked amazing and dominated, made easy work of Yagi. So now, I believe it's going to be him fighting Ryan Bader, which is going to be a very, very interesting fight because Corey is now not going to be able to, just dominate with his wrestling now because Ryan Bader is a very good wrestler. And now we're going to see, I think personally we're going to see a stand-up battle. But I'll break that down more when we get closer to that fight because you never know. COVID might happen. Somebody might get hurt. And then we got to break down a whole new fight. So once we get closer, we'll talk about that. But the fight I really, I ain't gonna say I cared about, but the fight that was the most interesting was Phil Davis fighting Nemkov. It was a rematch. It was a split decision win by Nemkov the first time they fought. It was a very, very, very close fight, obviously. And I mean, now, the part two, we've seen Nemkov grow as a fighter, and now one's like, okay, well, let's see you fight Phil again. Phil is a very boring fighter, in my opinion. He's a very tough guy to finish, though. You don't finish Phil Davis. Matter of fact, nobody has finished Phil Davis, not even Anthony Johnson. So, I was very, very intrigued to see how this went. Nemkov looked great the first 3 rounds, but I don't know if it was cardio because he did seem like he was getting a little bit worn down. And then Phil became the aggressor and started stealing the late rounds. And I was very impressed by Phil because I've never seen Phil that aggressive on the feet. So I was impressed by that. It was a very tough fight, but I did think the judges got it right, which was Nemkov 3-2. Phil looked great. The fight was fun, which once again I don't say too much about Phil. Normally when I watch Phil fight, I'm normally doing that when Phil fighting, so I was really happy about that. And I'm gonna put that on Nemkov. Nemkov made him fight. So now we're gonna see Nemkov go to the next round, and he's gonna fight the winner of Romero versus Anthony Johnson, which I think is the most interesting fight in the tournament, obviously, because these dudes are both dangerous and I mean, come on, bro. There was like, Josh, give me like 3 fighters in MMA that you would never really want to fight. Number 1 is Francis Ngannou. I mean, do I really need to explain why? Number 2 is Anthony Johnson. And number 3 is Yoel Romero. The reason why is because anytime you fight any of these dudes, you going to get punched very, very hard and you might not be conscious, and more likely you're not. So those are my top 3. So it's going to be very fun to see these guys fight, and Nemkov is going to have a struggle. And it's crazy because with this tournament, normally when you're the top seed, you're the best one, you normally have the easiest route to the finals. Nemkov actually got the toughest. And I mean, Nemkov got Phil Davis's first fight, which is a very tough fight. I mean, he might be boring, but he is a great fighter. And then you go into Yoel versus Anthony. Are you kidding me? Look, they making sure Nemkov earned his daggone title shots. I mean, his title defenses. But then honestly, I think whoever's in the finals is gonna get washed by whoever's on that side of the bracket. But once again, we'll get down there when we need to. But yeah, there was also other fights. There was the UFC fight. There was Kelvin fighting Robert Whitaker. That was the main fight that everybody really cared about. The card wasn't that great in my opinion, but the main event was. I mean, Whitaker. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he showed us anything new, but boy, he looked good. I mean, the guy's talented. The guy's is a phenomenal fighter. He really doesn't have too many holes in his game. The guy can wrestle. The guy's he hides his kicks better than anybody I've seen in the MMA game. So I mean, it was a very, very good fight. It was a dominant fight, actually. I think it was pretty clear who won. It wasn't that close. Kelvin came out the fight. It's not like Kelvin didn't come out there to look good. Kelvin looked good. It's just he fought somebody who was just much better. But I will say, even with him looking good, I still don't think he has anything for Israel. I think Israel Adesanya is just another level of striking. I'm very interested to see the part two. I think that is the fight to make. But I mean, is he just that dude? So I mean, we'll see. Once again, when we get closer to that fight, I'll break that down. But as of right now, I just think it's one, which is Izzy, and then you're two, which is Robert Whitaker, and then you got everybody else, and then obviously Marvin and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically how I break down for the real fights that happen. But the main attraction, the one that everybody was really talking about, the Twitter trending and all that good stuff, it was the Ben Askren and Jake Paul boxing match. I heard, and I say the reason why I say I heard is because I thought it was a $17 fight, but it turned out to be a $50 fight. And once I said that, I said, hell no, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. You got me effed all the way up. So I said, I'm just gonna wait till YouTube drop. And also, it was my sister's birthday and my best friend's birthday, and I was enjoying my time with them. So yeah, I wasn't gonna pay that. But I did see on Twitter. Matter of fact, no, actually, the producer of this show actually is the person that told me about what happened. He's just like, dog, you called it. I already knew what it was about. I was like, all right, bro, it's a wrap. I already know. How long did he last? A minute and a half. Say no more. I just need to see it now. So I went on Twitter and I found it. Listen, man, for anybody who thinks this is rigged, think that he was paid to just get knocked out, this, that, and the third, no, that ain't what happened. Matter of fact, hold on. Look at this video. Bruh. Cool. You're watching it? Hold on. All right, hold on. Let's watch this video again. Bruh. He is the worst striker I've ever seen in MMA. I meant that. That was not a joke. I was so serious. I mean, Ben is a wrestler. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He actually didn't really train his stand-up that much because he was like, ha, you guys can't stop my takedowns. I don't need to work on my striking because you guys can't you can't stop my shots, my reshots, my funkiness. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This is boxing. So in reality, like, yo, this was predicted. This was easy. I don't even take pleasure in being right about this because it was just so damn obvious. But I do, for the people who didn't see the knockout, I do want you to watch it just because I think it's so daggone hilarious. So we're going to put it up here. Bruh. Hilarious. I mean, matter of fact, I got different angles for you guys. We can watch it again. Bruh. It's funny. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Ben Askren's not a boxer. He is the worst boxer. Jake Paul, he could be talented. Is he great? No. I got my friends texting me, talk about man, is Jake Paul this thorough? No, he's not. These guys just suck. Once again, he couldn't do that. Look, I can beat big Jake Paul. I'm very confident that I can actually do that. And I'm no pro boxer. I'm not a pro MMA fighter, but I know I damn sure could put up a better fight than Ben Askren. Because once again, all right, cool. You get the gist. And also for my friends that be messaging me and stuff like that about predictions and what I think about fights, stuff like that, watch my show. All right? Stop asking me. I'm not going to tell you. I'm sorry, I was a little saltiness. I'm not gonna do that again. I just had to let y'all know that. For the people who do watch, I appreciate y'all. But yeah, that's basically really mainly what my comment when it comes. You can't really break that down too much. It was only a minute and a half. I mean, Ben Askren got a big ass head. He doesn't really move it. It's a punchable guy. I mean, look at his face. Look at his chin. I mean, come on. So it was very, very predictable. I will say though as well, boxers got to stop disrespecting the MMA fighters though. At the end of the day, MMA is real fighting. Like in the gist, I mean, boxing is just a limited version of a fight. I've never really seen a real fight that didn't have some version of grappling. So like respect, and that's to like the Javion Loves over here disrespecting the Tyron Woodleys and stuff like that. Because yeah, you would definitely box up Tyron Woodley in a boxing match. Not Jake Paul. Jake Paul would get worked by Tyron Woodley, which I think would be an interesting fight. Like them two if they want to fight. But Javion Love would literally box the hell out of Tyron. But in a real fight, we all know Tyron Woodley and any other elite like welterweights, middleweights would dominate Love. Sorry, bro. That's just the way that goes. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody. There's obviously some boxers that can transition to MMA and still be successful, but for the most part, no. Not a wrestler that can just take you down and beat the hell out of you. But I've been wrapping y'all up. But I just wanted to, tell you guys what my thoughts were for this past weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed this weekend. I love fight weekends like that. There's just so much to do, so much to watch. Hopefully we can continue to get more. I'm so excited for this week as well. But continue to watch. Once again, we drop every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Showtime's Fight Forum. You already know what it is.